Hello, welcome to Anime Mystics. I'm Roman, and tonight I am watching My Hero Academia Season 3, Episode 12. So, last episode was a very emotional episode. We finished the fight between All for One and One for All. Basically, All for One and All Might. All Might basically lost all of his power basically during the fight. When it started, he still had like half of his face was in All Might form, and the rest of it was in his normal form. As he was trying to fight with All for One. During this episode, we kept getting little flashbacks about his master, whose name I don't remember, which isn't too surprising. How she basically instilled a lot of the things he implements now. The smile, the way he thinks about helping people, all kinds of different things. And All for One was bad-mouthing her, talking about how she died pathetically and how she was an embarrassment to all the people that had One for All in the past. Especially as for somebody who had made the cork. And All Might tried to attack him while he was on the ground because he was angry at what he was saying, and that just got him blown up into the sky, nearly taking out a news copter, where he was saved by Gran Torino. And he's telling him, look, don't listen to anything he's telling you. He's just trying to, get you angry so that you don't think, and he can do whatever he wants. And then he's getting ready. All for One is getting ready to shoot another shockwave, and Gran Torino's telling him, "Okay, get out of the way, and then look for a time to counterattack." But he couldn't move because All for One was like, "Is it really enough to just dodge?" And you see that there's somebody in the rubble behind him who's still alive, and he couldn't just leave to save himself. He had to save her. So he used his fist to block the shockwave, although when doing that, it turned him into his normal self. And this was for everybody to see because the newscopter is filming the entire thing, and they're getting like close-up looks at him. Everybody's wondering what's going on because they've never seen him like that before. Deku was freaking out because now a secret is, revealed to everybody. But All Might was still himself, telling him that despite the fact that he was like that and that he's being seen all over the place, he's still gonna be the symbol of peace that everybody needs. That's not going to change, and nothing he does is going to chip away at that. So All for One tested it by telling him and everybody else that's watching the show that what was his name? I gotta look this guy's name up. I'm tired of wondering who he is. Third season. Alright. Where are you, villain? I think it starts with a T, right? Maybe not. Where are you? Oh, there we go. Yeah, it does start with a T. Tomura Shigaraki. Or Shigaraki Tomura, however you want to say it. He is the grandson to All Might's master. All Might had no idea about this. And was completely upset because he had no idea that this was a relative to his master. He had been fighting with him, and stopping his plans, which, I mean, he has to. He's a villain. It wouldn't be cool to just let him do what he wanted because he's the grandson of your master. But he probably feels like it's his fault that he's like that because he didn't know about him. He couldn't help him. Anyway, as he's freaking out over this, the woman that was in the rubble is telling him not to lose, to help her, help. And that's when everybody else in the city is like, who's watching, is saying, it doesn't matter what he looks like, he's still All Might. He can get through this. And they start, yelling, cheering him on. Getting Deku and Bakugo to also yell, telling him to win. And so he is able to make one of his arms big, like muscular, like it's supposed to be when he's All Might. And All for One is basically figuring that this is his final amount, like the final strength he has. It's all he's got left. So he's floating up into the air, getting ready to shoot a shockwave at him. And that's when Endeavor and the others show up to help out. Endeavor is like angry because he's never seen All Might look the way he is when he's not in his he's not big. So he's like, what is going on? Telling him how he'd worked really hard to try to, be better than All Might, but the more he worked at it, the more he realized how far apart they were. And is just super angry at the way he is. Not like, he's not angry that All Might... I can't really explain it. I'm trying to think of the right words. He's more angry that All Might is looking in bad shape than the fact that that is who he really is. And the guy that like gets super thin like paper, Kamui Woods, who I actually remember the name to now, and I think his name's Tiger, the guy that works for the cat group, all are doing their part to help out. Kamui Woods went and grabbed Best Jeanist, who I hope is still alive, but I'm pretty positive he's dead, and Mount Lady, and takes them out of the area, while Tiger is grabbing the woman that was in the rubble and telling All Might that they're doing what they can do by helping him, by loosening the burden he has with all these people being around and being worried about whether he's going to injure anybody else. And that despite what he looks like, he's still everyone's like hero. He's still the person that all these people want to win. And that's when Gran Torino is telling him, he's still the pillar that he wanted to be, that all of the people are cheering him on, his students are cheering him on. All of these people who want to be a hero like he is are watching, rooting for him to win. And that gives him a little boost. And then All for One, who was fighting with the paper dude and Endeavor, fires a shockwave to the ground, blasting them away. And then uses the best combination he has of quirks to make his arm incredibly huge and gross looking to fight, or to finish off All Might, I should say. And All Might's just got his one arm, But he charges at All Might, and All Might punches. They hit each other's arms, and that's when All for One uses like a shock of nullification or something. Whatever he used, it really hurt All Might's arm. Like it was like shattered in multiple places, it seemed, and blood is squirting out. But he's still holding it. And when it looks like he's about to lose, he remembers what his master told him about remembering where he came from, his origin, and that it would give him a boost and push him past his limit a bit. And he's able to get his feet back on the ground, stop All for One in his tracks. He switches the power from his arm to his other arm and hits him, but doesn't really do much. It wasn't exactly a great hit. Like, he got him in the face, but there wasn't a lot of power behind it, which All for One commented on. And that's when, as All for One is getting ready to fire another, like, I think it's another shockwave or something. He's doing something to his other arm. All Might switches the power to his other arm after they do the little scene where you see the light traveling to each orb for One for All, and show his master pass it on to him, saying, it's do your best and all that, and he grabs onto it. His arm gets huge, and then he hits All for One square in the face, slams him down onto the ground, which causes a huge tornado from the amount of force that was behind it. He called the attack the United States of Smash. And that finished off All for One. However, in the process, he used up all of One for All as well. When the dust clears, the camera people from the news helicopter are filming down at the ground, looking at All Might, who's on his knees. And he holds his hand up and gets it big again. And then he turns his entire body big, like he looks like All Might now. But it's like putting a toll on him because he nearly falls over, and the paper guy, whose name I don't remember, tells him, saying, should he really push himself like that? And Gran Torino tells him, just let him be. He's still working right now. And is thinking to himself that this is the last time that he's going to be able to do this as the number one hero and as All Might. Now that everything is over, everybody's trying to clear the city, get back to their, where they're supposed to be. Deku, Bakugo, oh god, what is that guy's name again? Kirishima and Ida are trying to get onto a train, but there's so many people that they can't. But they're also trying to get to where Todoroki and Momo are located, because they're separated. And that's when you hear the reporter. She's talking about what just happened, and says, "Oh, here comes the villain. He's getting placed onto the the van. He's got like an Iron Maiden around him." And All Might points at the camera in his small form, his normal form. Points to the camera and says, "Next, it's your turn." Which makes the crowd cheer, but the message was more for Deku, or Midoriya, whichever one you want to call him. I know I always call him Deku, it's easier. Telling him that it's his turn to take up the mantle. So he needs to train him, get him to where he needs to be, so that he can become the pillar that the city needs. That's basically where it ends. Deku is crying because he knows what the message means. Bakugo is looking at him because he doesn't. He's like, what's going on? Why are you crying? Do you know something I don't? So yeah, I don't know where it's going to pick up. So let's just get into this and see what's going to happen. Oh, let's see. Open it. So the video is going to be located over here, and the link to the reaction is going to be in the description down below. And we're going to start this episode in 3, 2, 1.